The game is called Wolfenstein, but may I suggest a more appropriate title? The Wolfenstein legacy continues, this time with Wolfenstein. Not Wolfenstein 3D, not Return to Castle Awesomestein, just plain old Wolfenstein. It's got to be a chore these days for developers to come up with anything new or interesting in the first-person shooter genre. And these guys have put some serious thought and creativity into this one. I'm not sure if there's anything really new, but there's a very cool combination of stuff in here. The whole game reminds me of a combination of Call of Duty 2 mixed with Soul Reaver and Bioshock.
Attention! There is a spy in the valley.
Attack! He's reloading! Everybody!
The game starts off like a good World War II shooter, but then it gets pretty interesting quickly, and you begin to expect the unexpected in Wolfenstein. That's what I like about this game. It's not a World War II shooter, it's not exactly a straight fantasy game, it's an interesting hybrid combination of the two. The bottom left of the screen shows you that little circle thing. That's your Veil system, or your Veil powers. They're a bit like plasmids in Bioshock. You don't just spend the game shooting people with machine guns, ducking and covering and using grenades. You can also slow down time, walk through walls, create a shield, and more. It's extremely fun. I had a great time in the single-player storyline mode of this game. I am not a big fan of the multiplayer in Wolfenstein, though. I'll get to that in a moment, but the single-player storyline is a great fantasy adventure. The level design and the environments are very cool. They're rich with detail, lots of color, and you get rewarded for exploring them thoroughly because you're finding gold that you can then use to upgrade your weapons and Veil. It's not a game that rewards you for getting through it as quickly as possible, it's a game that rewards you for really digging into Wolfenstein. Which is good because I don't think multiplayer is what you should buy this one for. If you liked Bioshock, I think you'll enjoy Wolfenstein. They feel very similar to me, both in terms of the level design and style, and also the gameplay. There's something about it that just feels a lot like Bioshock in many ways. Maybe it's the fact that when you can't get through a situation just by machine gunning everybody, you can rely on a superpower, but don't think that makes the game easy, because you run into some bad guys who have the same tricks that you do. Just look at all those storage lockers. There could be gold hiding anywhere. After I shoot everybody, I'll look for it. Some of the weapon upgrades are a lot of fun, like the silencer on my MP40, which just makes it sound awesome.
He seems a spy.
You can put things on there that prevent kickback, also increase ammunition supplies for some of the guns. It's the kind of game I could easily see playing through several times, because it's larger than it looks.
Is the American here? Nice. Look here. That man! Go, go! Fan out! the spy. Run!
Whoa! Now that was sloppy, but when all else fails, rely on the particle cannon. That's just common knowledge, though everybody knows that.
Keep moving!
It also makes a really fun sound, and I like the way that people are just vaporized. I had a good time playing the single-player campaign in this game. I'm going to do it again. The multiplayer doesn't feel like it was just tacked on to have it. They put a lot of work into it and give you a lot of options, but I thought it was jerky, and I didn't care for the level design at all for multiplayer. Also, the system for joining matches was just a bit clunky and really pales in comparison to other games like the Call of Duty games and Halo. And the whole Veil thing just seems a bit awkward in multiplayer. Also, when I tried to join a couple matches when I just started out, my level was very low. I had like a 1 or 2 from my, my experience level. People would just boot me out of games before they even started because I didn't have a high enough number. That's very, very inviting. People really went out of their way to make sure that new players got to enjoy Wolfenstein. There's a lot of details spread throughout Wolfenstein that show that this is a game that wasn't just cranked out to cash in on a franchise. And I appreciate that. So if you want a good storyline, a good fantasy shooter, check out Wolfenstein.
Kind of experiments on the patients in the surgical.